A truly fulfilling life isn't achieved by trying to constantly control or change your feelings or your internal state. A meaningful life is created by taking committed action. Action that's guided by your values, what really matters to you, regardless of how you feel. When I truly understood this concept and it really sunk into the depths of my soul, I took a big sigh of relief. I took a big breath because I finally stopped feeling bad about feeling bad, as simplistic as that sounds. And I think the best part is that I stopped thinking there was something wrong with me for feeling less than optimal. And I truly do believe that so many of us waste so much precious time, so much time from this one sacred, limited, and special life that we are gifted with, that is going to end someday. We waste so much of that time trying to feel better, trying to control the things that happen within ourselves, within our hearts, within our minds. We just want to feel good. And the sad part is that in not feeling good, in not feeling happy, we feel as though there's something wrong with us, that there's something broken, that we need to work constantly to fix ourselves, to find the underlying issues and to resolve them so that we can eventually live a meaningful life and do the things that we want to do and achieve the goals we aspire to achieve, to build the relationships we value. But the paradox of this theory or this hypothesis is that we tend to waste our entire lives trying to get things right, air quotes, right? Trying to figure ourselves out. And paradoxically, this leads us to wasting the now, the life that we are currently living in this very moment. And so we waste or spend our entire lives not being here for our lives. We ultimately miss our lives in the pursuit of becoming better, changing our state, changing the way we feel. Because we feel as though if I don't fix the way I feel, if I don't overcome my sadness, my anxiety, my depression, my regrets, my need to achieve something, if we don't overcome these things, we can't show up as our full selves to live this life. But the sad truth is that if you spend the rest of your life or even years trying to overcome this problem, because you and I, everybody in the world, have issues, right? For lack of a better word. We all have our quirks, our so-called flaws, our inadequacies. But if we spend our entire lives trying to overcome these things, you will miss your life. You will never, the sad truth is you'll never get to a place where you are good enough that you'll give yourself the permission to start living. And that is dangerous. It is so dangerous, and it is such a common misconception, right? And as I said earlier in the video, once you realize that you don't need to feel any certain way in order to live a meaningful life, you don't necessarily need to worry about your internal experience, as much as you do at least, that's when you're free to do whatever you need to do, right? And I think it's important to start at the fundamentals, going back to what is our internal experience and why are we trying to change it? The reason we do anything in life, at least as far as I've realized for myself, is because we want to have positive thoughts and positive feelings. We do everything because we want to feel good, right? We pursue a meaningful relationship because it makes us feel loved and respected and cared for. We pursue successful careers because they give us a sense of self-worth, ambition, give us the ability to take care of the relationships in the previous desire, which is what we want for love and connection. Use any example, and you'll notice very quickly that everything is meant to make us happy. It's meant to create a state of fulfillment, peace, and contentness. The problem is, right, and you'll know this for yourself when I give you this example, by using your own experience, right? How often do you truly feel on top of the world? Like, really, if you had to think about it, how often do you feel at peace in your day-to-day life, despite all the hard work you put in to changing the things around you? And the sad truth is, even for somebody that's watching this video that might be relatively happy and grateful, which is beautiful, but you'll notice that even though you experience moments of highs and happiness, very often and very quickly, it'll drop down to a low. You'll feel bored. Maybe you'll be a bit disappointed in something you did on a certain day. You'll remember an ex relationship that makes you sad that you've lost that relationship and now you're sad. And then 2 minutes later, you're happy again, right? Emotions are like this. They come and they go like waves of the ocean. They rise and they fall. Apologies for scratching my nose every 5 seconds. I don't know why I'm so itchy today. I'm itching for a fight, you know, the common myth. If you have an itchy nose, you're going to get into a fight. So let's hope that doesn't happen. But anyways, emotions change. They come and go. The sad truth is that thoughts are exactly the same, right? If I asked you right now, do not, whatever you do, right, don't think of a pink unicorn dancing around to happy birthday, happy birthday. Don't think about that unicorn dancing to the birthday song, right? And you'll come to realize very quickly that that thought just implanted in your brain without your conscious control, right? You had a negative feeling this morning that was of no control of your own. It just was there. You wake up, you know, you hear the good old quote, I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. That happens. You wake up one morning and you feel great. Maybe you don't feel so great because emotions and thoughts are constantly changing. If we were really to put this in action, and there's so many ways I could prove this to you, but really just want to drive the point home that your internal state is always shifting. It always changes, right? If you had to sit for 5 minutes right now, and I won't make you suffer, obviously, because, you know, your time is valuable. But if you were to sit now, and I encourage you to do this after the video, sit down for 5 minutes in absolute silence and watch your mind. Try to simply watch the thoughts that go on in your head, and you'll come to realize very quickly that thoughts just appear. You'll have a thought about what you're having for dinner tonight. And then the next thought you'll have about your brother or your sister. I wonder what they're doing today. And then you'll think about the deadline that's coming up for your work project or your school homework. You know, you'll notice that your state is always changing and that you are not as in control of the thoughts and the feelings that you have as much as you'd like to be. It's a very scary thought, I understand, you know, especially for people watching this video that pride themselves in being disciplined, in taking control of your life. And don't worry, we're going to get to that part of the video. There is a way for you to make the most of this one beautiful short life that you have. But before we get there, it's so vital to make you realize that your internal state is always changing. And you should not beat yourself up for that because, as we've clarified, it just happens. Thoughts and feelings come and go. And the worst part, and you'll know this from your own experience, is that the more you try to control these things, the more you try to think positive. Don't think about that pink unicorn, right? Do not think about it. Think about something else. The more you force the thoughts away from what you don't want to think about, the more those thoughts will arise. The more you feel sad about losing somebody very important to you, and you've gone through a breakup, I'm sure, you'll know that the more you try not to think about that person, the more that person arises in your mind. The more the heart starts to ache. It's only when you accept that state. It's only when you can finally put down the metaphorical sword and you stop the fight altogether. And you say, I'm done fighting my internal state. I allow it to be here, right? And that's how you overcome this. It's once you put the sword down, you stop the fight. Your state eventually might rise at first, it might get worse, your heart might pound, your thoughts might go crazy. But once you allow it to be the way it is, that's when your mind calms. That's when your heart relaxes and softens. And that is when you finally get the power to take meaningful action in your life, to build something meaningful for yourself. Because yes, even though I'm telling you in this video to not fight your experience, to not fight your state, right? I'm not saying you can't control anything in the world. I'm not saying that you need to sit back today and just put your hands in the sky and say, well, I'm just going to sit here and accept everything. you still want to live this life fully, right? You still want to take meaningful action towards purposeful goals. Of course you do, and you should. But it's so profound for me to tell you in this video today, the main message, if you take away anything from this video, is that the more you fight your internal state, the worse it's going to get, because your internal state will fight you back, right? And paradoxically, by fighting your internal state, you're making it even harder for you to take action towards your goals, because all of your energy, all of your focus is actually going into fixing something or changing something that can't be changed. The thoughts happen, the feelings come and go. Throughout your life, it'll never be a constant high of happiness. I hate to tell you this. I hate to break the bad news to you today, but it'll never be all good and all well. You'll have happy moments and then sad. And the quicker you can accept that fact, the faster you can stop worrying about needing to feel a certain way in order to have a meaningful life. Because here's the crux and the main kind of realization I want you to have today is that this all means you can still feel sad. You can feel anxious. You can feel unmotivated and angry and purposeless. You can feel all of these things. Have these negative, limiting beliefs and thoughts about your life and yourself. You can. You can have all these things happening and still take meaningful action that is important to you. You can still take steps towards those goals, because those feelings and thoughts, even though they may be uncomfortable, yes, they don't control you. You can feel bad and still show up. You can have a limiting belief and still approach that beautiful girl or take that job offer that you're unqualified for. You can do all of this stuff despite how you feel. And funny enough, it's when you, like I said, firstly, accept that experience. You accept that you aren't okay today. Once you can fully accept that I don't feel great, and that's okay, it's only then that you're free to take the action, which then paradoxically makes you feel better, right? It's in taking meaningful steps towards things you value, right? And this is the second part of the equation here. Firstly, accept the internal state. Stop trying to fight it because you can't change it, right? Step one. Step two, realize that you, as your highest self, have meaningful goals, meaningful values that you want to aspire to. You want to be the best brother that you can be. You want to be the best employee / boss / entrepreneur that makes meaningful change in the world through what you do. You want to value your fitness and your health because you want to feel strong and live a long and healthy life for those around you, because you value the relationships in your life, right? You clarify what is important to you today. And you simply say, okay, what is one meaningful and very small and concise step or committed action that I can take towards that goal? And all you do is you simply have a look at your internal state. You say, okay, I understand that right now I don't feel motivated. I don't feel at peace. I feel like maybe I'm not good enough to take this action. To go to the gym, let's say. You don't feel like confident enough to walk in there today and really have a good workout. You firstly tell yourself, I accept that I don't feel that way right now. And that's okay. I am strong enough to sit with that feeling, because ultimately it's just a feeling. It's just a sensation of heat, a sensation of movement. My heart is pounding, but I can sit with it. I'm willing to sit with this in service of my greater goals. And then here's the beautiful part. You teach yourself, you teach your feelings, you teach your thoughts, you teach your brain that I can feel this, but I can still move towards what's important to me. And then you take the smallest action possible. And notice that once you've taken that action, suddenly the heart starts calming down. The brain starts relaxing. It stops the wheel of turning thoughts and turning contemplations. And finally, you come back to the moment of power, the only moment that matters to you, the present moment. It's so simple, but so profound and so beautiful. And I hope that in listening to this message today, you take away a very powerful and profound lesson this week. So I encourage you to really sit with this today, as your actionable homework for this video. Take 5 minutes after this video. Just sit with yourself. Watch your thoughts. Watch your feelings. Realize that they come and go. They change. And that's the beauty of them. And you don't need to do anything with them. You can allow them to be as crazy and loud and annoying and hurtful as they want to be. You allow your state. And then with this allowance, you decide for yourself, what is meaningful to me in this moment, in this one short life I have? What can I do as a next step right now towards a life that I want to build? And you take that step. And I promise you now, this simple process will change your entire life.